Hey, good afternoon. Today I want to talk about systems, automations, what is too much, what is too little, and how to go about structuring those systems. So, if you don't know me, my name is Max. I own Glacier NYC. We're a headshot photography business in New York City, and we specialize in actors' headshots. When it comes to automations, we send out automated text messages, automated emails, and we don't do any automated calls or any other automated notifications. How we set our automations up is that when someone books an appointment, they get notified of booking, they get notified a day before the appointment, they get notified a few hours before the appointment, and they get notified a few minutes before the appointment. And this is primarily for our initial interaction with the client. Once we have interacted once with the client and we book their photo shoot, they get slightly fewer automated messages. Now, it's important to remind your client to make sure that they do not no-show to your appointment. You want them to either cancel, reschedule, or be there and be on time, right? You don't want them to give you no notification and just skip the appointment. Our whole goal is to avoid that with our automations. We try to notify them as little as possible while still making sure that they know. So my reasoning for doing a day before and then like 8 hours before and then 30 minutes before is that a day before it's like, okay, I have this appointment tomorrow. Usually people will reschedule if they realize something came up at the first notification. The second one is on the day of, so when they wake up, they see it and they say, oh yeah, I have this later today. And then 30 minutes before, it's like the oh shit moment. I forgot about this appointment, but let me get ready. I have 30 minutes. This is our goal. Any more than that, it totally pisses people off. Even 3 is a lot, I think I might be. But I think people can understand that a little bit of over communication is better than under communication. Regarding the notifications, I try to make these reminders as boring as possible. I don't want them to be super customized because then I'm going to have to go and update them every month. If I talk about it being winter and being cold and bring a jacket, or if I talk about this certain client has long hair and I talk about their long hair, then I have to customize it to every client, and then what's the point of the automation, right? At the same time, you want to communicate exactly what you want to communicate clearly. So you want to say, hey, this is a reminder, you have an appointment in X number of minutes. The goal was to say you have an appointment in this amount of time, and I said it, right? Nothing more, nothing less. There's a fine line between customizing it a little bit to show your brand maybe, or to show something about your product, but a fine line between doing it too much where you have to update it all the time. So this is the line that I've been working on lately, and I've had to update my automations every few months just because I'm realizing that as the business grows and changes, that your old systems might not work or might not be applicable anymore. So it's important to automate things to move time off of your plate onto the computer's plate so the computer is taking care of things for you. It's also important not to rely too heavily on these systems so that when the system breaks and it's no longer applicable, that you're screwed. You want to be agile. You still want to have, a little bit of a hand in what's going on, but not too much where you're taking the full responsibility. And it's a fine line for any type of business. You will have to feel it out, what works for you, how often you feel comfortable updating your automations, how set you want your systems to be, and what your tolerance is for the system failing, or what your risk tolerance is if the system were to fail. If you're so reliant on the system and it works great, but it could fail at any point, then you could be in big trouble. However, if you're happy with the system and you don't think it's at risk of failing, then you should rely on it more, right? So again, this is something you're going to have to figure out. This is something I'm thinking about every so often, but I use Calendly, and then I use DocuSign. Both of those send out automations. They work pretty well. They're fairly consistent. They're also paid services, so I would hope they work every time. Any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.